Mediocre Morad thinks that just because he's watched a motivational video by Andrew Tate, he can become David Goggins overnight. He's like everyone else. He says, yeah, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that. But then what happens? He starts and then he falls off and goes back to his old ways. Meanwhile, exceptional Imran knows that willpower is finite. So he utilizes it to the best of his abilities so he can be the best version of himself. Assalamu alaikum, my people. My name's Pablo, and I help young Muslim men break out of the rut and become productive. You see, over the last 11 months, I've consistently uploaded every day on various social media platforms and picked up many productivity tactics along the way. If you want to transform your life and become an exceptional Imran, check out my coaching program, link in the description below. You see, the thing is, a lot of people have this misconception that they have an infinite amount of willpower. And so what happens, they watch a video by Andrew Tate and they have all this motivation, but then it all wears off in about 3 weeks. Not too long ago, I was exactly like this. So all these big self-improvement influencers blew up in late 2022 and early 2023. And you see me, I was always watching this type of content, but I never really took it in. It didn't fully click into my mind around April, May 2023. Where I was like, you know what? I need to fix my life. When I leave uni, I'm going to get my money right and my fitness right. I need to begin a journey of self-improvement. So straight away, after I submitted my last assignment, my dissertation, I began taking action towards making money and getting my fitness right. So I began hitting the gym consistently, cleaning up my diet and starting a business. And you see, the thing is, for the first couple of months, everything was going in the right direction. I was eating clean 90% of the times and making good progress towards my business. However, by mid-August, I hit a rut. My diet was terrible and I was making little progress towards making money. I was eating junk food every other day. I was very inconsistent in the gym. Some days I'd work on my business, but most days I wouldn't. The thing is, I wanted to eat right, get my fitness right, get my money right. However, I didn't have that intent to actually make the improvements. And the reason why I hit this rut was simple. All the motivation wore off. The thing is, I watched so much content between April to June, and so it was ingrained in me. However, once it wore off, I fell off a cliff. During those months, I was always hitting the workout, eating clean and staying away from junk food, and I was also taking active steps to start up my business. But when all the motivation wore off, I had to rely on discipline, and I had none. And so what happened? I'd constantly engage in the bad habits, eat poorly, wake up late, do this, do that. I was living based on motivation and willpower, and that never works in the long run. It was not until October 2023 that I was like, you know what? Something needs to change. I need to fix up my life. I can't keep living like this. So I was like, you know what? I need to dedicate myself to a big goal. And that was to get to 100k followers on TikTok. And the way I decided to do this was post videos on history and politics. So for the first couple of days, I wrote scripts in the afternoon or the evening. And you know how it is. When you try to do work later on in the day, it's much more difficult. You have all this brain fog. You want to go on your phone more often. It's very difficult to be disciplined and do work in the evening. And so I remember this one Wednesday so vividly. So I always set up my alarm for Fajr, wake up, pray, but normally I go back to sleep. However, I was like, you know what? I'll set the intention of staying up after Fajr. And that was the turning point in my life, because that mental sharpness I felt was something I've never experienced before in my life. It was like I opened my eyes to the world of productivity, because I never knew that you could do work without feeling brain fog. I always thought that doing work was difficult and taxing. I didn't know there was times during the day that you were more mentally sharp, and I thought to myself, you know what? From this day onwards, I have to do it every morning. I have to wake up and write those scripts first thing in the morning. But of course, the first month, October 2023, it was very difficult. Some days I'd wake up and do it. Other days I'd do it, but then go back to sleep after 2-3 hours. And other days I'd just wake up, pray Fajr, and go back to sleep. However, by November time, this habit stuck. There are many reasons for this. Firstly, I trained myself to stay up after Fajr. The thing is, you need to see discipline like a muscle. The same way you go to the gym and start bench pressing the empty barbell. Then you add 10 kg, then 20 kg, then you get to 60 kg, then 100 kg. It's the same way with discipline. You need to start off small. You need to start off with the empty barbell. Then, over time, you increase the intensity as you get better. When I first started staying up after Fajr, I wasn't like, you know what? I need to write 20 TikTok scripts in 2 hours. I would simply tell myself, just show up to your desk and see how much you can do. Whether that's 4 scripts or 7 scripts or 14 scripts or 1 script. The number doesn't matter. It's just you need to do a bit of work. You need to do the bare minimum. I didn't overburden myself with all these tasks to do. However, nowadays it's different. I'll be like, you know what? From 5:40 to 6:40, I need to write this YouTube script. And the reason why I was able to do this is because I trained my discipline. Over time, I increased the intensity of how much work I do in the mornings. And therefore, nowadays, it's much easier to do more work in the mornings, because I trained myself to do it. And as a result of training myself, I'm able to do more work in less time. And you see, this is how you train your discipline muscle. You can't start off all guns blazing. Yeah, I'm going to do this, then do that, then do this, then do that. Because you'll eventually fall off, whether that's 3 days or 3 weeks. Because it's inevitable. You haven't trained your discipline muscle. And the best way to start training your discipline muscle is to set the bar of expectations extremely low. And when I say you need to set the bar low, I mean to the extent that anyone can achieve it. And the reason why I'm telling you this is that you haven't trained it at all. You haven't allowed the habit to become a permanent part of your routine. So in order for the habit to stick, you need to do the bare minimum. For example, you want to start doing deep work in the morning. However, for most of your life, you've been waking up at 11 a.m. First thing you do is check your phone, eating junk food. It would be near impossible to start doing 4 hours of deep work every morning. So instead, you need to tell yourself, you know what, tomorrow morning I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and do 20 minutes worth of work and see how much I can do. And so in this way, it will become much easier to sustain. Because think about it, if I tell you for the next year, you need to do 20 minutes worth of work every morning, that's much easier than saying, you know what, for the next year, you need to do 4 hours every day. You'll find it impossible. And it'll be in this way of setting the bar extremely low that you'll be able to train your discipline muscle. You see, if you've been living the life of mediocre Murad, doing the wrong moves every day, it would be near impossible to do a 180 and change your life overnight. You can't change your life instantly. You can't go from being some ill-disciplined guy to being David Goggins. It's impossible. With any habit you implement, you need to start off small with everything you do. I can literally prove this to you. So when this Ramadan ended, I was like, you know what? I need to get back on track. It wasn't the case where I was doing all these bad habits again, but it was a case where I was like, you know what? I want to do more work. I need to produce more. I need to get more results. I was like, okay, I'll buy this app. It's called Opal and it blocks all your apps for a certain period of time. You can set it for 1 hour or 1 day or 1 week. So I was like, you know what? Let me buy this app called Opal and it blocks all your apps for a certain period of time. That could be 1 hour or 5 hours. And I was like, you know what? Let me go cold turkey. Let me only have 2 hours in the day where I can access my phone. And you know what happened? After the second day, it was impossible to sustain. Because think about it. If you've been going on your phone for 4 to 5 to 6 hours every day, and then you reduce it to 2 hours, it's going to be impossible to sustain once the motivation wears off. So what I do nowadays is more sustainable. I won't check my phone for the first 3 to 4 to 5 to maybe 8 hours of the day. Depends on the day and whatnot. But I have that period in the morning where I don't check my phone at all. And secondly, in the evening around Maghrib time, I'll put my phone on aeroplane mode. And in this way, it's more sustainable because I know, for example, the first 4 hours of the day, I won't check my phone. And then the last 2 hours of the day, I won't check my phone. And this is how you train your discipline muscle. You start off slow and then slowly increase the intensity because you're making the good habit a permanent part of your life. Rather than using motivation to show up and do that good habit, you'll be strengthening that discipline muscle and it will become easier and easier to do that good habit to the extent it becomes second nature to wake up early, do the deep work, hit the workout, eat healthy, but you need to start off small. And of course you'll be like, you know what? That's so easy. Anyone can do it. And I know your response will be like, you know what? That's so easy. I need to do more. However, if it was that easy, you'd be disciplined and you'd be doing the things that need to be done. However, you're not disciplined and you need to do the bare minimum to train that discipline muscle. So only when you become consistent in doing the bare minimum, that's when you can increase the intensity little by little. You can't think you're some exceptional Imran. You need to start off being a mediocre Murad and then work your way up to the top. At the end of the day, my bro, you have a choice. Do you want to listen to my advice and become disciplined? Or do you want to perpetually be in that cycle where you start off strong but you quit because of your ego? Because you think you're too good to do the bare minimum? Remember, productivity is the path to your dream life.